Basically born in Bay City, Michigan. My parents moved here many years ago, and like I say, I've been lucky enough to grow up in this community my entire life.
I came to Bay City in 1974. I finished my residency, then I was 2 years in the Army at Fort Huachuca, and the first time I ever came to Bay City, I drove here, and I say, I wouldn't move to this town for all the tea in China. It changed, okay? The city changed, I changed, and this is one of the most glorious places anybody could ever live.
I think Bay City is very beautiful, and I don't think you really know how special Bay City is until you leave Bay City and or you have people that come and visit and tell you what a beautiful, wonderful place you have.
We have a wonderful community, and we have a lot of people that are involved and enjoy being involved. And since I've come back from college, this community has grown, it's developed, it's improved. It's a wonderful place to live. My father actually drove a bookmobile, and among other things in his life, but that's what brought him to Bay City, as well as having a sister here. And my mother and father were brought together because my father was here to date another young lady, and she was not available. And so my mother was the backup plan. He was able to come up here by surprise or surprise her. And on that particular week, my mother had a date with another gentleman. And then my father, being the type of individual he was, he says, we're not going to have any more of that. He said, we have to get a little more serious. And so he then pursued her very actively, and then the rest is a love story of 71 years.
When I first met them, I thought of them as being leaders and people who participated in life.
We're in the stone business and bulk storage. I've been lucky enough to work with my father from a very young age. It was one of those things when we started out, you go to school, you go to work, and then you work hard.
Practically speaking, our resources come from here. Our business has thrived here. You know, we need to help our community, you know, because they've helped us. That's the most practical reason. But on an emotional level, I just feel if you have the ability to give, you give.
Fortunately, my parents have been a wonderful influence through perseverance, again, a good work ethic, been able to achieve. And then at a certain point, my parents said it's important to get involved in the community.
If you are seeing someone who has needs and you have the ability to help with those needs, you should help. I didn't think of it as a choice. I thought of it as an obligation.
I, like a lot of people, can do things, but I don't think about it, okay? Helen thought about it. I was afraid to let Helen out of the house. I didn't know what she'd come back with. That was Helen. If she went a day without doing something for somebody that wasn't good, she had a bad day. She enjoyed spending money, not on herself, but she enjoyed spending money to help others.
I think when you're lucky enough to be part of a community and you're able to grow and make a living in that community, there hopefully becomes a time, whether it's through personal service or it's something where you can give back through donations. It's time to give back. It's time to do something to help to make an effect on other people.
I think the most memorable was our ability to help the United Way to initially get out of the offices they were in and to finally be able to donate the building to them. I'm very proud of my husband. Steve was the spearhead behind all these things. He was very, very smart when it came to anything that dealt with money. I mean, he could figure out ways to bring money in that no one else could possibly figure out. He just wants to be remembered, I would guess, as someone who gave of himself, his finances, that he cared for us, his family, for the community.
The library was something that was very important. My mother always had an interesting spin on everything, and the library wasn't just for the kids. She felt that for older individuals in the community, this would give them an opportunity to have access, of course, to the books and the reading material, but then electronics, and have an opportunity to learn. So my mother thought, yeah, it's great for the kids, but an awful lot of the seniors might have a great time with it as well. The Women's Center for Abused Women and Children, parents just saw a need. Many times we like to do things under the radar, so maybe these are a couple of items that had a name on it, but that's not how we prefer to do it. We like the personal impact. What can we do as an individual? How can we help somebody grow?
And a lot of people hold back, not because they're not generous, they just don't think of what they can do. But you miss the joy of giving something and seeing what happens. When we saw that little girl, and I said, what do you got in that basket? When I put her shoe on, it matched the outfit. Okay? Did you see the smile on that kid? If people will see that, they would say, I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to be able to see it. They don't think about it. Think about what you can do. Don't think about what you will do. And don't think about what you can't do.
Not only do you give, but then maybe you can change an opinion or an attitude and get somebody more positive to what events are going on in the area. But I find that with all the positive that goes on, there's always somebody that can be negative. Don't listen to them. Do what your heart says, follow it, and do the right thing.
Giving back to your community is more than just money. It's your time and effort. We live in a community. That community supports our life in a way, and I'm not talking monetarily, I'm talking about environment and everything, that I think we are responsible for that community. Just as we are responsible for our families, this is our community, this is where we live.